All right, here we are. I gotta figure out how to put, how to make this effective on my live streams a little more than I do with my phone. I'll figure it out. All right. Morning, good morning, good morning on this early live edition of the We-On-Loc Nation channel. This will be pretty much not my last live, but my live for the week due to me being so busy. It's going to be a busy weekend for me. If anything extraordinary comes up like today, actually yesterday, then I might go live for a few minutes. But overall, I just wanted to tickle y'all funny bones for a minute when it comes to these Epstein files, which yesterday they finally came up with a verdict to saying yes to releasing the Epstein files. So we pretty much know the text messages and what came out and all the names that have been spurred out. Bill Clinton's name's been spurred out. George Bush's name's been spurred out. It, it's even Mitt Romney. I expected Mitt, not expected Mitt Romney. I remember when I said this. I say like a couple of days ago that we need to start looking into all presidents. We need to start looking at all presidents because all presidency ain't good presidency. You know how like they say all money ain't good money. Well, all presidencies ain't good presidency. When you have all these names being spewed out by Jasmine Crockett because of the you know of all the names that she had said due to the fact where she was reading from the actual files itself, possibly, maybe, you're in trouble. You are in definitely serious trouble. So, and she did mention sex tapes. She mentioned sex tapes. Like, who the hell has a sex tape? It's like, ew, who the hell in the president? Who the hell in the noble office? Anybody who is affiliated with any Trump, Obama. Oh my God. So yeah, it's just one of the days. So Jasmine Crockett comes out and she leaves a little memo for us for yesterday. And it reads, today, the House has finally passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Survivors have waited years for answers, and the American people have been kept in the dark for too long. Every name, every meeting, every document must be released. No excuses, no delays. Let's be clear. The DOJ has already been supposed to release these files to the oversight committee, and the deadline to turn them over has come and gone. Now, this has passed the House. The Senate needs to do its job, and the president needs to sign it. Overall, he could have just signed it anyway, since he has nothing to hide, basically. He could have just signed it over because he doesn't need the Senate or the committee. He could have just signed the damn thing himself. But he had to go through all this and all this for 50 whole days And now it's came to fruition that, I mean, on top of that, him being sued, or Mike Johnson being sued, they finally released it, and we're just waiting to see what else comes next from this. And I would not be surprised if it was some sneaky link names come out. Now, this is vastly important and vastly entertaining. So I'm only going to be, I'm not going to be too long with you. I'm not going to be too long with you at all because this boy is tired. I just thought I'd just share some things with you just in case you didn't get to see it or get to listen to all this gossip that came about yesterday. And of course, they were back in the Senate and they were just raising holy hell. And Mike, apparently, I can't stand him talking. That's just the fan boy in me. But as a independent, I know I have to be somewhat, what's the word I'm looking for? I have to be somewhat fair and listen to all remarks because due to the political seas and whatever else comes about, the quote unquote wording that is spewed upon Republicans and Democrats and independents, you got to pay close attention to wording in detail. So, with that being said,
with the survivors, that we want to end the cover-up of what happened and then let the chips fall where they may. If there are people who were actually engaged in crime, as Ghislaine Maxwell was, as Epstein was, then they should be charged with every element of due process. If they happen to be a waiter or a waitress who worked at an event, they're not guilty of anything. That's what due process is. We're able to sift through and figure it out. But your rush to judgment isn't even giving anybody a chance to know what the charges are here. It's the most extraordinary thing I've ever seen. I'm going to yield now to Delegate Plaskett herself, the distinguished representative from... Oh, I'm sorry. First, we've got Representative Crockett from Texas for 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. This is a distraction to take away from the fact that the Guardians of Pedophiles is literally trying to protect pedophiles.
I just want to say before we go any further, she looks good. She looks great.
The president is a convicted felon and an accused sex offender. Stacey Plaskett hasn't been accused of either. So what are we actually here talking about? Trump and Epstein were besties. We've all seen the pictures of them. We saw the birthday book. So why are y'all more interested in talking about Stacey Plaskett than Trump's relationship with the man? When did y'all become so moral? Because I can remember when y'all wouldn't sign the discharge petition. All of a sudden, everybody wanted to vote for this, but you wouldn't sign the discharge petition. Until we decide that we are going to go after the actual rapists and pedophiles, miss me with your moral high ground. Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous. You decide that you want to punish a sitting member of Congress because you are concerned about her text messages. Well, maybe you should be more concerned about those sex tapes that we still haven't gotten access to. Maybe you should be more...
Who in the bloody hell is on a sex tape? Can anybody guess who is the corporate behind the I want to say the ST for YouTube purposes. I want to know who's behind, who's in the scene. Well, quite frankly, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. It's quite disgusting. It's quite disgusting if you actually think about it. You know, it's bad enough that everybody knows about, for example, Bill Clinton. Everybody knows about Bill Clinton. I did not have lovely relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Everybody knows about that. But how deep does that rabbit hole go?
Are concerned with the fact that the president, his name is mentioned in the files way more than Stacey Plaskett's name. Listen, I'm not saying that anything is right or wrong, but listen, if you're trying to figure out what's going on with somebody that's a criminal, then you maybe need to talk to their associates. That's exactly why maybe she was getting text messages. I'm not saying she was or wasn't.
Quite strange. Quite strange indeed. Now, thanks to, I don't want to butcher the lady's name from Arizona, Mrs. How will you say her name? Adelina, and you can forget about me saying the last name, Adelina, who was the 880, the 186 signee to sign off on the Epstein files, which gave it a go-ahead, gave it a green light to release the files. It's like I said, things are about to be a little bit chippy. And I wouldn't be surprised. Would anybody in here be shocked if they were not damaged or tampered with or anything like that? We wouldn't be surprised at all, would we? We wouldn't be surprised at all. So, I mean, to shift some things around just to not incriminate Trump, but I think we know fair, good, and damn well throughout the history, throughout the years, if all of you are if there's some Gen Zers around here, or excuse me, Gen Xers, if there's some Gen Xers in here, if there's some not millennial. Well, some millennial, early millennials, anywhere from early millennials to Gen Xers to the baby boomers. We all know Trump's history. I mean, we all know from the time his racist daddy gave him a trust fund to the point of him owning some shit and losing it to racism, and his inability to work with black and brown people on the lower class. We all know what his deal is. But for those in the newer generation, y'all are screwed. I mean, y'all are really, really screwed. I mean, we have people calling into shows and podcasts and saying how Trump is bettering the economy when we all know that's a bunch of gibberish. I mean, the price of eggs is going up. The price of eggs is going up. Gas prices are still up. I mean, you had to get some real good prices. You have to find some actual real good prices or some discounts, because by the time you fill up your grocery grocery cart to a certain extent, you're spending almost $200 off the bat. Almost spending $200 when years ago, you spent over 100 and you weren't even done shopping. But now everything is over 100. Everything is still over. I mean, people are calling in. This is the best. This is the best since Trump ever did it. It's like, I told you this was a win. No, it's not a win. It's not a win at all. It is not a win at all. It just, people ought to stop doing that. People ought to stop just being Trump supporters, and just the cult of it all is insane. Just being a cult member of this group, of the administration, is just plain insanity. But we're gonna find out. And I hope for the sake of those people who were I just hope for the sake of those people who were the victims of Epstein get what they deserve, and that's justice. That's what I believe. And anybody who makes fun of that has got to be the biggest loser on the face of this planet. Has got to be the biggest loser. But I'm glad to see Jasmine Crockett hold this Congress accountable, hold the Republicans accountable, because quite frankly, they need to be held accountable, but no accountability comes to that side. But then again, do Democrats hold themselves accountable? That is the question. That is the question.
Detention. I want to make sure that I enter this UC, which is one of the reasons that we are a bit skeptical of any immigration, quote unquote, enforcement laws that y'all are trying to pass. This UC is from The Guardian. It says immigrants with no criminal record now largest group in ICE detention. You know, I listened to Mr. Van Drew.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. I listened to Mr. Van Drew, who I do respect. And he went on and on and on about how this is about the bad guys. And I will be honest with you and tell you that when it came down to the election, there were a lot of people who really believed that the Republicans and the president were all about getting the bad guys out. People truly believed your words, but your actions are not matching up, because I've got the receipts showing that they are not matching up. And so call us a little paranoid in believing that the hypocrisy may continue to come from across the aisle. Speaking of hypocrisy, I do want to point out, since we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, because we couldn't talk about Epstein before. If y'all recall, we were gone for about 2 months because we couldn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And now everybody wants to act as if they want to have like a real honest conversation about the victims and the survivors and everybody else. Where was this conversation a long time ago? And I know that y'all love to go back and say that Joe Biden didn't do it. You know, Joe Biden is blamed for everything. Joe Biden didn't do anything, and it was Joe Biden's fault. And why wasn't Joe Biden? Joe Biden didn't campaign on it. I just want to be clear. If y'all can run me the tape, then run me the tape. But, you know, when you campaign and you go out and you make a promise, then we evaluate whether or not you actually meet your promises. So listen, this was rope that y'all decided to hang yourselves with because the president campaigned on the Epstein files while we were campaigning on things such as affordability. We were campaigning on the things that now people are complaining about, right? Because of the tariffs and the fact that you guys won't say anything and tell the president, hey, sir, tariffs are taxes. We as Republicans, we usually don't like taxes. And guess what? That's going to make everything unaffordable. So now he's going to be our big savior, and he is going to reduce the price of foods because he is the guy that actually increased the price of foods. So listen, if you can have this honest conversation about Epstein now, let's just go ahead with this lame duck president and be honest about everything that the American people care about.
I don't think he's going to be honest. There is no who is she fooling? There is no honesty on neither side. And even though she is, in my opinion, possibly maybe one of the youngest congresswomen to ever step foot and hold these people accountable, I would have to say, hopefully, she is not a part of this. I don't want her to be a part of this group. I mean, even though she's talking a great game right now. I do believe in this lady. I do. I really, really do. But as people would put it, that bite, that bark gotta be just as bad as that, or bite gotta just be as, the bite has to be as bad as the bark. It's not just holding them accountable, it's holding the Democrats, the party that you represent, you have to hold them accountable as well. I think most of us are getting sick and tired of the runaround, getting sick and tired of the bullshit. I mean, just to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, it's time to be transparent, whether you're on this side or this side or that side. I mean, what do you think? I mean, it's time to be transparent. Now, with these files coming in, like I said, we got a whole week. What's today? What is today? Today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. So we got Thursday, we got today, Thursday, and Friday coming up. Be surprised, and even over the weekend, be surprised what comes up. Like she already read the names. Just be surprised what the comes up out of here. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And do not forget to go to change.org. Go to change.org/swearin Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senator.
They care about affordability. They care about the fact that literally people are starving in this country because we have 42 million people. And I don't remember any one of you during that almost 2-month break deciding to go on faux news or any other news outlet and say, you know what, it is wrong to have 42 million people that are relying on $6 a day to eat. And we have the money because somehow our president was able to find under the couch cushion, the one that JD was able to find 40. How much did he find to send to Argentina? 40
billion.
40 billion to send to Argentina. But those emergency funds, he couldn't find them emergency funds so that Americans could eat. So listen, if y'all are gonna be honest and talk about Epstein right now, let's be honest about everything that is causing y'all to lose real bad. Did y'all see the election results on November 4th? It didn't go very well. So let's just start having honest conversations so that hopefully some of y'all in some of these tight seats, maybe y'all can get reelected and we can just work together. Thank you so much. I just love that we care so much more about
Tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased premiums, co-pays, and deductibles. In some cases, health insurance costs are going to go up $1,000 or $2,000 per month. We have a cost of living crisis in the United States of America, and Donald Trump and Republicans haven't done a damn thing about it. In fact, costs aren't going down, costs are going up all throughout America. And the Trump tariffs are...
Help me out. Help me out. Let's put our thinking caps on. Why do I get the feeling? Why do I get the feeling that this cat is repeating himself? Does anybody in the chat Y'all feeling what I'm feeling right now? Why does he constantly keeps repeating himself? Does he keep repeating? Am I wrong? Number one in the chat if you think I'm wrong. Or put a number two in the chat if you think I'm right. Why is this cat repeating the same things over and over again? Of course, we know the prices are going up. Of course, we know that healthcare, the premiums are going to go up. We all know about that. What are you going to do about it? What the hell are you going to do about it? Hakeem? My son works. Reason the file is not even released. He can release the files whenever he wants to. He's the president. He can do whatever he wants. Which is quite sickening because he keeps saying, it's all a hoax, blah, 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 blah. But 50 days later, okay, just release him. Nah, bruh. Nah. We know that the FBI director did something to those files to make them decent enough for you to tell some truths, but not all the truths. Because you forget, when Trump was on Air Force One, he blurred out Bill Clinton's name. Kind of ironic, isn't it? Whenever remember, we're besties in the very beginning, right? But when I get into power, now all of a sudden we're not friends anymore. Yeah, I heard, you know what, bro? I heard about that. Let me see. Who the one that came out with it? Oh, I already know who did. When I first heard that shit, oh, damn. When I first heard it was Professor Black Truth that came out with it. When I heard it this morning, I'm thinking, is Nick Fuentes for or against Trump? I'm wondering, but either way, it's still a loss. During that whole suspension period, think about how much money could have been spending on some of it feeding the poor, helping out with food and SNAP benefits. Some of it could have been going out to, help families. I don't know. It's just like, it's embarrassing. But more criminal and egregious than that, what was it going to do for Black people? Probably nothing. Probably absolutely nothing, because nobody in the presidency pays attention to us until it's time for us to vote, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, if we're going to be 100% real, none of that money was going to go towards Black people in terms of what we need as a community base. As I told people before, the only way you were ever going to get, let's just say, reparations, for example, is through blood. It doesn't matter how many times you change your name, how many times you change your identity, you're going to get it through bloodshed. But at either rate, this is not the time and the place for that right now. Most of these conservative, idiotic people all this say, well, it was. I mean, you had no problem with the white man telling you who the hell you were, but all of a sudden, when it's a black man, you all of a sudden have a problem with it. No, I have a problem with you glazing the pants. If you get my drift, you glazing the pants off of this white. That's white. No one told you to stand up and no one told you to stand up and take an ear off of a person who don't have your best interest. As a matter of fact, this person just, for example, before he left office, before he got impeached, before Trump got impeached his first term, he's the one that supposedly came out with that plan, if you remember, for black people, and he read off and said, what have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? This is down, your crime rate is up. What have you got to lose? Where did you get that from? Wasn't it Ice Cube that presented the plan, this platinum package plan, to both parties? And what did both parties tell this black man? Exactly. Crickets. But I do have to get to that Nick for what this one. Just Jesus. Let me say.
By the way, it goes without saying, Trump could release the files himself. He could sign an executive order as the president of the United States, and the DOJ and the FBI could release them without an act of Congress, without any of it. Trump would not have released the files if he could get away with it. And he tried to. He tried to trick us. He tried to lie to us.
He bragged about how things are declassified merely on his say-so. So why didn't he say so about this?
It needs to happen now.
Whistle, dodge, and trick that he could, but it just didn't work because his own base has been pulling in the opposite direction.
What needs to happen now is a transition. Trump is a lame duck. 2026, most likely he's going to lose the House. 2027, people are going to start to run.
Midterm elections just around the corner. Trump's calculating that this furor over the Epstein files hopefully will have died down a little bit by then. His top priority is making sure the Democrats don't get.
I hate to say it, but he's right. I hate to say it, but he is right. Because it's starting to become 2020 all over again. And why did that flash? Oh, oops. Okay. I don't know. Will he be impeached? Probably not. Probably not. Because like I said, too many things have been tampered with. I know too much. I've seen too much. I know too much. They are absolutely, positively are going to let this man roam. Everybody else gets to suffer. Everybody else gets to come to the congregation except for the man in charge. Everybody gets to come to the congregation. Sit your ass down. And if you do want to donate like $1 or $2, just don't forget to put it on, this. I don't know how this works, but figure it out. Just figure it out, whatever. But anyway, 2028 is going to, I don't think he's going to last. I should have put a poll up. Do you think Trump is going to last through 2026? Do you think Trump is going to last through 2026? That is the freaking question. Oh, easy. I don't think he's gonna last. But then again, I've been wrong plenty of times. I have been so deadly wrong. It, but I wouldn't be surprised if he would. Let me see. Why are him and Tucker Carlson feuding? I don't pay attention to Tucker Carlson at all. He's just one of those ones that got an opportunity and like just ran with it. So I don't pay too much attention to trick bags from the right. But why are these two feuding? That is cringeworthy. Why the fuck are these two feuding? And oh, sidebar. Dude, would you like for me to start off a new petition to get Megyn Kelly off of air? Because this is what she, after that little display of bullshit yesterday, she don't need to be on air.
He was with a 15-year-old, and they look illegal, but it's not like he was with an 18, or excuse me, an 8-year-old. She might as well just say, "What's the difference between an 8-year-old and a 15-year-old? Both of them are minors, bitch." The fuck is wrong? Okay, let me see.
One of the things that has been very illustrative of the cracks is we've had some.
Okay, this nut.
Great interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it,
Hold up. He doesn't know anything about Nick Fuentes. I don't believe him anymore. I don't believe who he knows. I don't believe who he knows or what he knows. I don't believe in any of that shit. I don't believe in it anymore. You know why? Simply put, what he said the other day. I'm not familiar with the person that I pardoned somebody who was supposed to do 4 years in prison. Pardon all the people from when he did the Washington place dirty and just had a whole bunch of people just ran rum shy over the, excuse me, I'm so sorry, the Capitol, to have rum roughshod over the Capitol, defecate over the walls and all this other shit. I don't give a damn what he says anymore. I don't know who Nick Fuentes is. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. You do. You do. You know who Epstein was. All of a sudden, Epstein was, he's not my best friend. Now, I would truly believe that if you're in that billionaire class or millionaire class or whatever class, whatever case may be, y'all all meet in one place, right? But when the party is over, and it's time to do other things like get into politics, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I can't have you in my rear view. So what happens to a person that has or knows everything about you? When did Epstein get arrested? 2019? Epstein got arrested in 2019, right? And he got deleted in 2019. Is it 2019 or 2020 when he got deleted? All of this was during what? The Trump administration. So, besties, I think not.
Word out. Let them, people have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide.
Now, he did have dinner with Nick Fuentes and Kanye West at Mar-a-Lago, which he was reminded of.
You remember when? Oh, he was friends with Diddy too. Oh, those are my black friends. No, they weren't. Those are my black friends. No, they weren't. If you have black friends, how come Diddy's not out of jail yet? You can pardon him too. Can he not? Can he not pardon Mr. P. Diddy out of jail? Of course he can. Right now, he's just thinking about himself because he knows his time is up. But then again, like I said, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. He knows too damn much. You damn right. You damn right. And when you know too much, hey, sure word is either you get bought off or the other thing. So
I want to show this. This is Nick Fuentes saw what the president said or didn't say, and he said this. Thank you, Mr. President.
I mean, it's pretty remarkable. I mean, for Trump to say, I don't know who he is come on. I mean, this is the leader of his party. This is someone who consumes so much media. And this is something that has been dividing his base so intensely since Tucker Carlson had this interview. So that is just, doesn't seem any bit of reality. But also, I guess, not a total surprise. But the president also talked about, I had dinner with him and Kanye West. Kanye West has also spewed terrible anti-Semitic rhetoric, just like Nick Fuentes, and Trump didn't seem to distance himself from that.
But I think this is indicative of him not wanting to stop the fractures within the MAGA movement that are becoming wider and wider by the day.
Yeah, and if you remember during the campaign, after that dinner with Nick Fuentes and Kanye West at Mar-a-Lago, there was a large freak out within Trump's senior staff trying to put in new protocols. I wrote about this in my book at the time. They were really concerned that people were getting to Trump, and they set up protocols to try to keep those sorts of people away from him.
Also,
and so
what is free is going to change.org/swear in Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate. That is free too. Put in your signature, go on about your business. It's absolutely free. Absolutely free.
He got y'all out here looking bad. I mean, some look worse than others. I mean, there was that whole Laura Loomer being pro-victim is anti-Trump. I remember that? Remember that? Pro-victim is anti-Trump? Because that's not an indictment at all. How she look? How she look?
No, you are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
The simple fact remains that if the Epstein files exonerated Donald Trump, he wouldn't have been attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene. Next question, you dumb MAGAs. Trump declared that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a rhino right after she said that she will not agree to block the release of the Epstein files. He's telling you everything you need to know. At this point, if you're not a rhino, you're an accomplice. So he had convinced y'all that he was running to expose Epstein, then turned once he got elected and got a significant portion of y'all resigned to the fact that it was a hoax. The rest of them he called dumb. You remember that? You remember that? Yeah, he called y'all, there's some stupid MAGAs who, quite frankly, I don't need their vote anymore. He also said that, which he don't really need nobody's vote anymore at this point. But he said there's some stupid MAGAs that believe in the Epstein hoax, the rest of them are on my side. Well, those who decided to ride with Donald Trump at that point have just become the stupid MAGAs. Well, come on down. Come on down. Come on down. But wait, there's more. If the bill passes the House and Senate, it would then head to Trump's desk for his signature. Trump hasn't said whether he would sign the bill. He also has the power to veto the legislation if he chooses. And
he did. He said it. It came out of his mouth. He said he will absolutely sign it. So what's taking so long?
That would require a 2/3 majority in both chambers to overturn the president's veto. Trump could also just order the release of the documents himself without congressional action. MAGA. No. I'm specifically talking to the MAGAs. I'm specifically talking.
Yeah, text me, Lisa.
Under the MAGAs that still at this point, like they don't got whiplash enough. They got a whole helmet on and they are trying to go with the latest from Trump. Now you want me to believe that he wants full transparency for the Epstein files and is pushing for a vote when he could have just released them himself this entire time.
Exactly. You are the president. You have the power to absolutely say yay or nay to shit. You have the power. So what was the problem? Oh, it took you a whole 50 days, 50 plus days. What could have happened within those 50 days? Can anybody guess? What happened in those 50 days? Like I said, we all know. Coming to find out, we all know that this is a hoax. Now, like I said, there are those who are going to be possibly incriminated. But the big kahuna is not going to get touched due to the simple fact that it took this long. Number one, he was already acting suspicious. Number two, he was already acting suspicious. It's a hoax. And number three, he's involved with Israel. Oops. Was I supposed to say that? Was I supposed to say he's involved with Israel and his bosom buddy Epstein was involved in Israel? Ooh. The plot thickens.
In terms of salary cap.
Oh, why did I do that?
He went after LeBron James. The difference is he didn't get LeBron James.
Oops. Why did I do that?
He got y'all out here looking bad. I mean, some look worse than others. I mean, there was that whole Laura Loomer being pro-victim as anti-Trump. I remember that? Pro-victim as anti-Trump?
Yeah. But I'm not willing to wear the Republican jersey.
Right.
And I'm not willing to be a cheerleader. I'm not a cheerleader. Yeah. I'm not going to be a cheerleader.
Here's how.
Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you trust or have gained trust for Marjorie Taylor Greene. If not, put a 2. I'll repeat it again. Put a 1 in the chat if you've gained some type of trust for Marjorie Taylor Greene. If not, put a 2. Because as I told you, I do not trust that woman. I don't trust her as far as I can throw at her. She's the one that voted for that big, beautiful, that big, ugly ass bill that's fucking with Americans, right? Not only that, but it's going to cost America. It's going to cost America for the next 10 years. And even the person who, unless they do something and veto it or something, I don't know what they're going to have to do, but it's going to have that big of effect for American citizens for the next 10 years. So I'm whoever voted for Trump, shame on you. Yeah, I lost our train of thought.
Oh, you used to move.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on. And here's after that act right.
However, I will praise Nancy Pelosi. She had an incredible career for her party. I served under her speakership in my first term of Congress, and I'm very impressed at her ability to get things done. I wish we could get things done for our party like Nancy Pelosi was able to deliver for her party. So I wish her well in her retirement.
What is it you gonna tell me next? You working on a memorial in Georgia for John Conyers? Like, come on. No, and I heard what you said about Fuentes too. Some habits die hard.
You're talking about lowering the rhetoric, which is important for everybody to hear from you and all of our elected officials. But there is some concern, a lot of concern among Republicans about the rise of anti-Semitic hard-right figures in your movement, especially after Tucker Carlson hosted white nationalist Nick Fuentes on his podcast, didn't question Fuentes about his vile language or views. You did speak at a conference hosted by Fuentes back in 2022. You were criticized and you said then that you didn't know about his views. Well, Fuentes talked to Carlson about that.
Okay, let me address this. Okay, let me address this. Let me get this. I'll do it first. Let me almost break it. I do some. Okay, first and foremost, no one cares if this heifer got threatened. She ain't even that damn important. Look, she's a fucking cheerleader. Get over that shit. Who gonna threaten her? Who is she a threat by? You're talking? Are we talking about the same woman? We're talking about the same woman who was cheerleading. Go Trump! Go Trump! Go Trump! Now, no one said anything when Jasmine Crockett was getting threatened. No one said a damn word when Jasmine Crockett was getting threatened. As a matter of fact, there was a young lady, right, who got the same exact treatment as Jasmine Crockett. And it's quite pitiful and it's quite sad. I forgot where I was going. Okay. What was this? This was already well, y'all already know the deal. Like, share, subscribe channel, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and become a member of the We-On-Loc Nation channel. Oh, okay. Got it. But like I said, she got the same exact treatment as Jasmine Crockett, which no one should be threatened. I mean, anybody who is threatening people or, is going through all this particular trouble just to, it's, there's demons amongst us. We all know this. People are way far to the left. Some of them used to be Aryan brotherhoods, or alt-right people. Y'all remember the thing and what happened in Charlottesville, and people got ran over by cars and all this other stuff. And Richard Spencer led that whole group. Y'all remember that? I mean, it's quite disgusting, but it's also disgusting, right? When you have people from the right complaining that Jasmine Crockett is using her money per se to buy security for herself. Motherfucker, she needs security. I was this close to doing a GoFundMe so she can have plenty of money so she can go on and start campaigning. But this is the reason why I say, instead of just running for U.S. Senate, which is cool, it's great, it's fun, it's excellent, it's exciting. But the fact of the matter is that if Donald Trump can just come in, no type of training, or not even to become a senator or a legislator or anything, can come in and just dominate the headways. She can absolutely do a good job, do a damn good job at that. So why not become president? That'll be something that'll be up to her in the long term. But right now, U.S. Senate is definitely where it's at right now. Hey, Bart. Let me see. Yeah, he needs to go. Yeah, he definitely needs to go. Files ain't released. That I wouldn't. Again, Joseph, I wouldn't put it past you. I wouldn't put it past you. To me personally, it's tainted. That's just the end of all. That's just the end of it. The files are being tainted. Files are being tainted. Now, did anybody how do I word this? How do I word this in a way for some of these people to understand? Because most of them are brainwashed and they're not going to listen to anything that you say. Even when you bring up what he had said about his daughter, even when you bring that up, even when you bring up the Miss American pageant, even when you bring that up, falls on deaf ears. Falls on fucking deaf ears. Let me see. I don't want to. Let's see how many words. Did they get released early? They decided, Alice. They decided to yesterday. So the only thing is Trump has to sign it. Trump has to sign it into law, and then the files will get released. A whole 550 pages of 550 pages. It could be more, but as far as I know, it's 550 pages. I love it when people compare Donald Trump to God. I laugh at that. I really. I mean, do what you do, fam. Just go ahead and do what you do. Okay. And just to get you back into the loop. Yesterday, they finally made a decision to vote yay on the Epstein files, and it was an unanimous vote. So the only thing to do now is to sign it in the law. Donald Trump just has to sign off on it, and then I think Pam is supposed to do something. I don't know, but John was bitching and moaning yesterday about some shit. I forgot what he was bitching and moaning about. It was like, dude, you have everything, just release it. If you have nothing to hide, just release it. That's it. If you have nothing to hide. He said, well, when the Democrats did this and the Democrats did that and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this is what you trick bags do every day. So, this is what you trick bags do every fucking day. How many of y'all got to see that display of Dookie-ism from yesterday? How many of y'all get to see that display of vote to release the Epstein files yesterday? How many of y'all got to see that? Oh.
Jenna Lisa, especially after your powerful comments this morning, and thank you for that. Congressman, it's great to have you both again back here. I don't think the last time we spoke that we thought we'd be here in this moment on the verge of having the president sign this and it becoming law here in Washington.
Things accelerated quickly. Things don't move forever in Washington, D.C., and then all of a sudden they do, and that's what happened.
But 427-1
Thank you for
over
the
in the
gift.
House. It was unanimous in the Senate. Congressman, I'm asking for you as the Republican who led this, obviously bipartisan, but as the Republican who led this, what do you say to those members who for months refused to put their names on your discharge petition and then wound up voting for this today?
All that's necessary for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And we had good men doing nothing for 5 months. And really our speaker was disparaging our legislation for 5 months. He ended up voting for it. And he could have saved us all a lot of trouble. He could have brought justice to the survivors here 5 months sooner if he just brought the bill to the floor.
Justice could have been brought 5 months sooner. I mean, there was one member, Clay Higgins, who voted against it. Have you spoken to him or heard why exactly he was opposed to this when every single other member of the House voted for it?
No, Thomas tells me that he thought it was hypocritical for Speaker Johnson to be saying it's a bad bill, and then suddenly telling everyone to vote for it. But the important things here is the survivors. I mean, they had to come to the Capitol twice, once on September 3rd, when the story was dying, when the Speaker had shut down Congress, and they really caught the nation's attention. That gave us momentum. Look, we had to overcome the president. We had to overcome the cabinet. We had to overcome the speaker. We had to overcome the Congress being shut down. We had to overcome them not swearing in the 218th member of Congress. And the only reason it happened is that the survivors came twice, and then they came again today. And the powerful stories that they told. And the president ultimately saw that he was going to lose 50, 60, 70, even more votes. And he said, look, I don't want to do that. I'm going to sign it. You should have the survivors there when he signs it. That's the one thing I really think is important, because the president of the United States should acknowledge what happened to these women and how they were raped, how they were abused. This is not a hoax. That would be such a powerful statement. And him saying that this Epstein class needs to be held accountable, they need to go.
Jenna Lisa, you're shaking your head yes when Congressman Khanna is saying that the president should have you and the other survivors there when he signs this bill.
He owes us that much. He owes us an apology, for sure. And I think that would be one way of showing some remorse for this drawn out process that didn't need to be.
And
he's Trump, ma'am.
You don't.
No disrespect, but don't expect that apology anytime soon. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm just saying that to be saying you don't know Donald Trump. Donald Trump don't back down from nobody, not even the law. So expect not for that apology to emerge. I'll be shocked if he did apologize. I was like, hell did freeze over, but I'm not expecting it.
See this in a political way. I was listening to you this morning. You said you voted for President Trump, actually, but your plea was to stop making this about him and to essentially start making it about y'all.
Yeah, I mean, he really ran his campaign on this. This is why I voted for him. This release of these files has been so important to me for so long that when he ran with that, I really had some hope that someone was going to do something about it, no matter what the motive was, right, behind it, that he was going to release them and so solidarity with us. But then he completely flipped. And I mean, he was even working with our lawyers and stuff. So it was really hard to go from helping us to completely turning on us and then calling it a Democratic hoax when he knew it wasn't. So he thought it was just a political play. And I think that was wrong. And I think that added fuel to
Trump is senile. He's old, and he knows his time is up. It's that simple. It's that simple. And it's like I said, don't look for any apologies, any I released the files a little bit earlier, sooner. Don't expect any of that shit. Don't. Because he believes that power is absolutes. Running the type of power that he has, that the people who run this country actually has given them the keys to be the face. He's an employee. He's the face. He is not the person. He's not the person in charge. There are too many people. There are too many elitists in charge. They just happen to put a face on it, just like they put Obama's face in there. He is the face. He's very, very sick.
to the fire against both parties and where it didn't need to be.
Wendy, do you think that what happened today on Capitol Hill and what the congressmen here have been fighting for helps put survivors back at the forefront of this instead of politics being at the front of this?
I think it's our best attempt yet, yes. And we are trying. I think it today shows us that we are being seen and we're being heard. And if we can keep that momentum, then I think that's yes.
Lisa, how are you feeling? You've obviously been very outspoken about this and talked about how important this transparency is for you as well. Do you feel like you're on the verge of finally getting that transparency?
I actually do feel that way. I started speaking out just because I wanted to stand up for other survivors that have gone through the same pain that we have, but couldn't find their voice. So I was trying to have the courage and the bravery to stand up there to have that voice for them. And just like Wendy said, just feeling validated, feeling seen, feeling heard. That's what we really wanted, was to stand up there and say, this happened to us, but what are we going to do now? And it's been a few months. It's been tough. It's not easy to speak out about something of this magnitude. It just really isn't. But we feel good about it now. We've been really just excited all together when we got the news.
Well, I'm excited for you. But like I said, if it takes this long to sign or to vote it in the Senate, number one, but the big honcho is that guy. Yep, Donald Trump. So once he signs it over, if he signs it over, then you get your transparency. But what does Bondi have? Bondi, she just gives out But let's listen to
Does
what
the
she
new
has to say.
investigation by the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney prevent the department from releasing all of the remaining files?
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency. Also, we will always encourage all victims to come forward.
What are the next steps, Madam Attorney General, for the DOJ regarding what we assume President Trump will sign into law with the Epstein files? Is this going to be on the Justice Department website? What are you doing here over the next 30 days, as we understand it?
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
When you say follow the law, Madam Attorney General, do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
Madam Attorney General, the DOJ statement earlier this year saying that the files would not release mentioned the fact that the review of the documents and the evidence did not suggest that any additional investigation of third parties was warranted. What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come information. There's information, new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads. If there are any victims, we encourage all victims to come forward, and we will continue to provide maximum transparency under the law.
Madam General. On Ryan Wedding, you mentioned, Madam Attorney General, the issue with the new information that you just indicated, is the department seeking information perhaps from the Epstein estate because Mr. Blanche did not have that information when he interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell? What new information, and would you limit the new investigation to just those named persons that the president talked about, or is this a broad, open-ended investigation?
I would refer to the Deputy Attorney General's post that he put out on X, and we're not going to say anything else on that because now it is a pending investigation in the Southern District of New York. You're on point.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar. But we will definitely would have to end this on a very short note, but I would have to say, again, look for the inevitable. Definitely look for the inevitable, and definitely look for some incredible pushback by some of these maggots. I mean, incredible pushback. Why keep asking us where their parents were? That's MAGA. Does it matter at this point? Because some of them start off as young girls? And particularly Megyn Kelly had the nerve to say it wasn't a trap. He didn't run a traffic ring. He didn't run a traffic ring, but there was no phones, no license, no wallets. Lisa, hellfire and brimstone on Elon Musket for his ignorant ass. Hellfire and brimstone on this bitch ass. I mean, it's just like asking to get raped. It's just like a woman, just because she wears a certain clothing, she's asking to get raped. How misguided are you, sir? Sir, how misguided are you? It's just like me going up to your daughter and having me do the damn thing on her. But I would be wrong as a black man, but as a white man, anybody can get away with it. If that was Obama, they would have FBI, CIA, the National Guard would have been at his doorstep. But someone like Donald Trump, oh, never mind. Never mind. It was like, well, what did she wear? What type of attire does she wear? And what is 15 really? Really? Y'all some sick puppies. Sick. And you got the nerve to call yourselves Christians. Y'all are really sick. Not all of you, but some of you are. If that was Obama, that Negro would have been arrested, detained, and hung. If you ever seen Rosewood, whatever, the white woman was crying wolf, and everything got burned down to the ground. But with Donald Trump, grab him by the pussy. Oh, he gets away with everything. He gets away with just bloody murder. He gets away with saying the most egregious thing about his own daughter. But y'all voted for him. Well, Bill Clinton, I don't give a shit about Bill Clinton. I never voted for Bill Clinton either. I didn't vote for Bill Clinton. So why the fuck would it matter? And the difference between Trump, what Trump was allegedly doing, and Bill Clinton was allegedly doing. Bill Clinton cheated on his wife. That's what every white bread American fucking president does. Big deal, right? But the difference is Monica Lewinsky was not a minor. Idiots. Was not a minor. He damn near held or created a masquerade full of pageants, women's pageants. What was it? Miss USA, Universal USA. I forgot what the fuck that was. But that was back in 1996. And then he goes on to Howard Stern's show, and they're laughing about it. They are literally laughing about it. Lisa, hellfire and brimstone on Mr. Sir Richard. Just burn his ass up, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else want to act ignorant? But if I wanted to go fuck your mother, that would have been appropriate, right? Some of you people really. I know what it is. It's the immigrant. It's the immigrants, right? It's the immigrants. It's the immigrants you can't stand, right? It's the immigrants. I get it. I know. It's the immigrants you can't stand. Guess what? They're going to come in this country whether you want them to or not. Whether you want them to or whether they want them to, it doesn't matter. Your prejudiceness isn't going to hurt them at all because they're just going to cross the borders whether you want them to or not. So guess what, folks? Get used to them. Whatever country they come from, if they're Mexican, Hispanic, African, Australian, whatever, get used to them. Because white folks complain all day, every day. Oh, this is a small space. It's getting real small. Kind of ironic how we felt back in those days. Yikes. I mean, we used to not speak and communicate because you put muzzles on our lips so we weren't able to speak. You put locks on our lips so we weren't able to speak. But thank God there were other ways to communicate. Unfortunately, I'm not for the right or the left. Eventually, we got to hold something accountable. But I never known Democrats to be this damn nasty. I've never known, as a matter of fact, I have never seen Barack Obama sign off on being nasty. That I'll give him credit for. But the fact of the matter is, y'all Republicans are losing. Y'all got it bad. Y'all got it the worst. You were expecting all this to go on. You were expecting big things, but the only thing you got in return was kicking immigrants out of the country. That's the only thing you got. You didn't get, low cost housing. You didn't get lowered some food costs. You didn't get shit. The only thing you got was I'm gonna violate the Insurrection Act of 1807, and I'm gonna put these troops, Army, Navy, or Air Force, down in the heart of Chicago, the heart of LA, the heart of Portland, the heart of Baltimore, the heart of New York. How am I gonna go back to some shit I've never been to? Yeah. I knew I had some redneck peckerwoods in my chest, Dream. Yeah, I'm doing something right for once. Lisa, well, yeah, you know what to do. You know what to do. So, with that being said, well, let me see if there's. I wanted to. Oh, it was right in front of my face and I didn't even know.
If the release of the Epstein files wasn't already evidence enough of a Republican Party in disarray right now, lost in that news was the fact that a judge, who Donald Trump himself appointed, has overturned the gerrymandered maps that Texas Republicans passed in order to flip 5 seats in that state, meaning Texas will have to use its previous map from 2021. and the ruling has led to quite a bit of chaos in the GOP. According to Punchbowl News, California GOP Representative Kiley tears into redistricting push after court struck down new Texas map. Quote, to the extent there was any point to begin with, which I don't think there was, I don't think even if you've got a partisan advantage on this, it in any way, shape, or form justifies it. But that's not even going to happen, it looks like. And with this court decision, it's even more in doubt. So it's just utterly foolish. Kiley also slammed Speaker Johnson, saying he should have publicly opposed redistricting and struck truce with Jeffries. Quote, it was a total failure of leadership to let this happen in any way that is going to be bad for our own members, bad for the House, bad for the representation across the country. Now, I have some thoughts here. On one hand, Kiley is absolutely correct. Think about what Republicans have managed to do here. They engaged in a completely corrupt scheme to engineer themselves a permanent majority in the House. Democrats promise to retaliate if they do it. Republicans do it anyway, so Democrats respond, and now Republican scheme gets blocked in court, while California's, which has been unsuccessfully challenged by Republicans 5 times, still stands. There is a legal term that I like to use in instances like this: fuck around, find out. But on the other hand, let me remind you that Kevin Kiley was conspicuously silent only until the moment that he personally would be impacted by California's plan to neutralize Texas's power.
The bill forced the Justice Department to release all its files in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation is expected to land on President Trump's desk this morning. He said he will sign it. He hasn't said exactly when. What we do know is that this is a stunning reversal for the party and the president, who had tried to block the release for months. For survivors of Epstein's abuse, who have fought for years for justice, this is an enormous victory. Still, there is skepticism about what happens after the president puts pen to paper to make the files. Attorney James Marsh, he is representing victims of Jeffrey Epstein. You represent many clients, including Maria Farmer, who was the very first person to have reported to the FBI that she suffered abuse by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell back in 1996. I'm just curious how she is responding, seeing what is happening with Congress and the promise by the president to sign this.
Yeah, thank you for that question. It's really sort of miraculous what's happened to her in the last few days. She's had a great deal of health problems. She's been suffering physically from this for a long time. And she got a report just a few days ago that many of her test results are positive for the first time in many, many years. So this is a real manifestation, not only of the toll that it takes on victims and survivors, but how, the move towards justice and accountability can really make, in this case, a physical difference on her health.
Thank you for the gifts.
She's very, very happy for what happened yesterday, with the realization that this is really only the beginning. You said all the files? Well, that's a big definition, all the files.
Yes.
And oh, by the way, I'm really trying to get used to this. I got to figure all this means. This is a hobby, right? But this is also real life, and we got to treat it as such. So I just want to say thank you for all the gifts. Thank you, Cheryl. 11716. Thank you so much. Thank you. Who else? Damn. How did I get up all the way to 50? Damn. Thank you.
I do want to talk about what she told our Erin Burnett. She spoke to her for the very first time publicly, and she talked about this encounter that she had after being called to Epstein's offices in New York when Donald Trump, she says, showed up. Here's what she said.
Trump's standing here, I'm here, and he walks out of his office and he goes, oh, no. He was laughing at me, and he goes, she's not here for you. Follow me. Right? And he escorts him in to this other room. But he made a joke to Epstein. Oh, I thought she was 16.
Now, the White House is denying all of this, saying Trump was never in Epstein's offices. He's calling the Epstein files a Democratic hoax, and he's now pushing the DOJ to investigate Democrats only and their involvement with Epstein. When you put all that together, including their denial, are your clients and you confident that you're going to see all the files? The DOJ is not going to cherry pick any of this and release them all.
No, we're not confident. I mean, that's the easy answer. Our clients are not stupid. The American people are not naive. They know that it's taken decades, in many cases, to get to this point. And a curious aside about the president, he was a Democrat at the time, if you recall, before he became a Republican. So whether or not this is a Democratic hoax, a Republican hoax, you can change your party, you can change your tune, but you can't really change what's in the files. And our clients know that, and we feel that we've jumped the first hurdle, and we're at the sort of the end of the beginning. This is no way over by any measure.
You have filed suit against the United States government, particularly in Maria's case. What is it that you are suing for against the government, and what ultimately does justice look like for your clients?
There's been a lot of budding accountability on the part of the banks. We've seen those lawsuits. We've seen the emails come out from the estate. There have been other lawsuits against private individuals.
Sad. Very sad. It's just so sad for the victims. But then again, you got those people on the other side say, well, she asked for it. Yeah, your mama asked for it too. Your mama asked for it too. When I banged her, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'll be no different from you. I'll be no different from you, demonic warriors. I'll be no different. I am from Kenya now. I am from Kenya. But no, I'll be no different from you. Making all types of excuses and saying the same things over and over again. As a matter of fact, there is another confused human being that just needs to be his memory needs to just be wiped out because of all the excuses and all the goalposts being moved from what this idiotic fool had to say. And it was quite embarrassing, to say the least. Quite embarrassing. Like, these people actually were asking for it just because they were young. Like, what? I don't know what the fuck.
What went wrong? You're basically trying to say, no. You're too. No.
I mean, I think you're just in denial, dude.
Well, no, they came.
Yes. You what you just said?
The president that we want for me, since you know it.
Name one country around the world that makes murder legal.
You're a bad person because you're not a Christian. All lives matter.
Do you agree that Black Lives Matter too? Blockade over. Oh, it was a quote unquote long time ago. So I'm sorry. You would vote for someone who said a pedophilic comment? Went up to.
I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. You're going up the escalator.
Taxes on rich people. I can specifically bring up that Donald Trump was held civilly liable of sexual abuse, which is not something true for specifically Democrats. I could bring up the fact that he said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years, which is not something true for Democrats. Where he specifically sexualized his daughter, said he had Howard Stern calling his daughter a piece of ass, said he had sex in common with his daughter, said he'd be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter.
What? Wait, what? Yo, can I? Ooh. What did he just say? Tell me he didn't say what I think he just said. Let me rewind that back.
not true for Democrats. Democrats are advocating for decreasing taxes on lower and middle income individuals while increasing taxes on rich people. I can specifically bring up that Donald Trump was held civilly liable of sexual abuse, which is not something true for specifically Democrats. I could bring up the fact that he said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years, which is not something true for Democrats, where he specifically sexualized his daughter, said he had Howard Stern calling his daughter a piece of ass, said he had sex in common with his daughter, said he'd be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter, and called his daughter voluptuous, which means curvy and sexually attractive, which is not true on behalf of Democrats. Do you see how it's true on one side but not the other?
And you voted for this nut. Boy, I wouldn't be surprised if he did incest. I wouldn't be shocked at all. But you got the nerve to come up in this Humpty Bumpty and say that Donald Trump is God to you. Well, I'll tell you what you can do with your God. But I ain't gonna say it on here.
I mean, where did he even say that? It's just like you're talking.
I'll play the clips
Where?
right now if you'd like to. Would you like to hear the clips?
Yes.
For sure.
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
That's one. I got you with another one. Don't worry.
But what did he say? He did not say that he was going to go in there with a little girl, did he?
He said they were in there naked. Well, naked, half naked. I mean, he absolutely called himself. He talked so fast, and he absolutely didn't realize they caught him what he said. But we got too many cults around here. And what did the Bible say about blasphemies? What did the Bible say about were they? They were the ages between 14, 15, and 18. 14, 15, and 18. But this was back in 1996. This was back in 1996. Okay?
He bragged about walking into the changing rooms of women while they're changing who are naked. And I said that an 18-year-old came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms, and Donald Trump would barge in. Hey, listen to this, Joe.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Oh, it's so weird. Howard Stern's radio show in 2004 and then again in 2006.
You hear what he said? You hear what he said?
The way, your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet tall.
Again in 2006.
By the way, your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
Oh, it's so weird. Howard Stern's radio show in 2004 and then again in 2006.
By the way, your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
That was my daughter. He would have been dead. Dead as a fucking doorknob. Hanged by he be dead. Dead. Now, I assume that we have fathers in the chat. I assume. Maybe not. these people support it. Yeah. I just assumed that they all went away. Oh, pity. But I just assumed that, hell, we had some real men and not cowards. But I assumed too much.
She's tall. She's almost 6 feet tall.
Donald Trump let him.
I mean, is that supposed to just like? Do you have these in the folder just ready to pull up? I mean, none of them literally say what you just said.
They said exactly what I just said.
No, you're twisting it up and you're saying what you wanted to say.
How am I twisting it?
Because he didn't directly say anything you just said.
What did I say that he said that he didn't say?
You said that he said he's walking in there with 10-year-olds, 14-year-olds. He did not say that. Did he? No.
You're mistaking what I said. He said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. I've yet to play that clip. I can play that clip.
Wait. Yes, I didn't. Come on.
Yeah, do you want me to play that clip for you?
Yeah, go for it.
I got you. It's right here.
Delusion.
Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Play that again.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
He didn't even say age. He just said.
Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
I mean, what is he even talking about? Like,
do you hear the little girl? Do I need to play it again?
That could just be a little girl in the background.
No, the girl said yeah in response to.
Is that not a public event?
He was having an interview, and this was like a hot mic, and it was a girl going up the escalator with her dad, and Donald Trump specifically went up to her. Right? He said, "Are you going up the escalator?" She said, "Yeah." He said, "Can you believe it? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years." And then she went, I'll play it again. Listen closely.
Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
I mean, people change. Even if that's what he said, people change. That was like, what, 30 years ago?
Whoa, I'm sorry. Now you're justifying it by saying, oh, it was a long time ago. Not that it didn't happen. It's not that I'm twisting it anymore. You've now moved to, oh, it was a quote unquote long time ago. So I'm sorry, you would vote for someone who said a pedophilic comment? Because he quote unquote changed from being a pedophile?
No, that you're just switching up my words. I didn't even say that.
How did I twist your words?
These are the people that support demonic human being more than they would support. Well, I'm just gonna say it. Jesus. You would support a demonic human being. That don't even look right. That don't even sound right. But some of y'all gonna crash and burn. Some of y'all gonna come to your senses someday. And there are people who absolutely came to their senses. I just don't trust Party to agree. So, fans, with that being said, I ain't got nothing much. Not much to say other than be careful. Be careful what you put out there, because obviously I was that close to getting struck when I played the whole Marjorie Taylor Greene thing. They are really strict of what you put out. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all coming on here and supporting your boy. As a matter of fact, before I go, please support Jasmine Crockett in becoming U.S. Senate. Just go to change.org and sign the petition. Change.org/swear-in Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate. She's been hitting at it for weeks. And while all this is going on, she is absolutely considering it. So please support her by going on to change.org/swear-in Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senator, and also supporting We-On-Loc Nation. Support the channel. Y'all have a great day.